welcome everyone to our kickoff meeting for Merge Forward. I'm extremely excited because I think, yeah, it's a very important mission and there's a lot we can accomplish. So it is, oh, Bahvani, great. So we have one representative from the Women in Cloud Native now coming, which is great. Hey, we just got started. Thanks for joining. So yeah, of course, this is a CNCF meeting. It's the very first, and as a CNCF meeting, of course, we all need to abide by the code of conduct, which basically means be kind and respectful to each other. So before we get started, I wanted to make like a quick introduction. Round robin, right? So I will start real quick because you mostly know me, and then I will pick the next one, and then we go that way. So to make it easy, don't think about who's next. So yeah, I'm Catherine Paganini. I'm the person who wanted to kind of create Merge Forward. Very excited about that. Very active in the diversity space, as you all know. I've been in most of all the meetings so far. And yeah, so very excited to work with you all on the goals that all these groups have in common. And so I will tag Or.
Thanks. So I'm Or Navon, currently a DevOps engineer, and excited to be part of this Merge Forward group. Yeah. You can call me Light if it's weird for you to call me Or. That's just the name, like the definition in Hebrew. So yeah.
Light, like sun? Light? Okay. We'll call you Or, though. That's your name. Just nice to know it means light.
Yeah. Most of the time when I go aboard, I tell them, yeah, you call me that way because the other way sometimes goes wrong. So yeah. And we can keep going with Amelia.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Amelia. I'm just the sign language interpreter for the two deaf folks on the call. Thank you so much. I'll pass it to Rob. Hey everyone, I'm Rob Koch. I work for a tech consulting company, and I am here to be involved in the deaf and hard of hearing representation. I have set up the deaf and hard of hearing working group with a few different folks, and help with Sandeep here, as well as for setting up initiatives and coordinating and collaborating, developing and working with making sure the conferences have the best possible experience, the conference attendees have the best possible experience that they can. Amelia here is a sign language interpreter for the deaf and hard of hearing folks on the call. So thanks for coming and interpreting for us today. Great. And looking forward to working with all of you. I will pass it on to Milad.
I have one ask. Rob, to you, because I know you do speak occasionally, or you do speak, because Ivan cannot see you, and the way for him to connect with people, of course, is through their voice. And so just having Amelia just gives him zero connection. So if you could just, I don't know, maybe just say, hello, I'm Rob, so he can hear your voice.
So yeah, by choice, I prefer to sign in a group setting, actually. So yep. So this is really if I'm voicing, then sometimes it becomes more like hearing people think it's more of a dependency for them, and it becomes the conduit going forward. If I have a one-on-one conversation, I can, read lips and I can follow along a bit better. And the way I put my words together. So that's why typically in a group setting, I prefer to use a sign language interpreter. For example, like lip reading, especially with foreign speakers, and people in different countries and accents and things like that are also very hard for me to and especially as I don't know the person well enough, or I'm having a hard time figuring out different things, my brain is working extra hard to do that, to fill in those blanks. And so, as you can imagine, that's challenging. So that's why I prefer to use an interpreter, when I'm first meeting people or in group settings, or if we're having like serious business discussion, I'll pull in an interpreter. If we're just like hanging out and, we're just having fun and doing things like that, what do you want to call it? Like more informal, casual sit downs and settings, then that's, a little bit, a little easier for me. But, people still have to be patient with me as well. So yeah, so for
Well,
Ivan, this is Amelia Frusamer's voice on the call, and that was Rob Koch speaking. And then when we move to Milad, it will also be my voice, but just know that it will be Milad, who's a different person, which I think we're moving to next.
go ahead, Milad.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. This is Milad. I'm excited with so much diversity representation we have here, becoming in one discussion, sharing ideas. So I'm really excited about that. Again, I'm Milad. I'm also deaf. I'm born deaf and have been ever since. I am in DevOps and also an engineer, a software engineer, and I do web development, and I do various designing in that front. I am involved in the deaf community as well, and trying to figure out how we can grow and make things easier and more accessible, and lead and to help expand that group, and also with the Oh, and also with Anastasia, we have hosted some things over the years, and being able to do a little bit more with this group here. So I'm excited to learn more and work with different folks all over the world and experience different backgrounds, and hopefully be able to do more of that going forward. I will pass it to Amanchi. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly.
Yeah, that works. Hello everyone. My name is Amici Onyedikachi, and I am a community advocate, and I started the initiative for speech and for speech diversity and stuttering, because for me, I'm a person who stutter all through my life, and I just want to make speech and diversity mainstream, because it is an invisible disability that no one ever talks about, and then we are mostly left out in discussions and everyday lives. So the goal here is, like I said, basically to make speech and diversity mainstream, and I hope we get to achieve that and achieve our collective goals.
And you get to pick the next person.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Bhavani.
Hey, thank you, thank you. I'm very happy to see, this diverse space here, and how everyone is working towards the common goals. So I'm Bhavani, working as a staff platform engineer at Zscaler. So I'm an ambassador, and also, just one second. Okay. So, and also working as a, women in CNCF organizer. So my, probably the why I'm here is like, so I do make sure that women representation is there in CNCF. And so we have observed, very less participation of women when it compares to CNCF meetups or like the Cubicon, or like probably, to improve that diversity on the table for CNCF projects contributions, or like participation, or probably in the leadership roles. So that's where the space has come. Like we do have virtual meetups every month from CNCF projects, and so we also have a community meetings happening for women in cloud native. And recently, so we have also started in every KubeCon we have a woman gathering that is happening. So this is how we are progressing so far, and I am very much thankful to Catherine for setting up, this like a merge forward, so that we all can combinedly work for the benefit of the, our diverse people, and probably, help CNCF with everything that we bring out to the table. Yeah. I think I will. I think Stephen. Yeah.
Yes, it's Stefan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No worries. My name is difficult to pronounce for non-French speaking guys. Also, my name is Stefan Stegracias. Basically, I'm supporting customers and as well newcomers on the cloud native ecosystems to onboard on cloud native platforms. So as a CNCF ambassador and as my daily job, I support them to grow their knowledge on the cloud native platform, etc. I'm supporting the blind and visually impaired initiative, thanks to Catherine as well. Thank you for that. And I'm very excited to be here and to contribute to the initiative, broader initiative with all of you. And thanks again for inviting me. So I will let Ivan to go ahead.
Great, thanks. Hi, everybody. My name is Ivan Fetch. I'm completely blind. I've been blind my entire life. I'm also, like many folks in this space, in the DevOps cloud native space, running infrastructure, also doing some software development. A few months back, I joined and also have participated in the blind and visually impaired working group with Stefan. And I'm happy to be here and to meet all of you. Thanks. And I think that's it for the roster.
That's it, right? Great. So yeah, I shared the agenda as well, which I forgot to share before, like in this call. And so basically wanted to talk like quickly about Merge Forward. First of all, like why Merge Forward, right? Like I think like we have a variety of diversity group. Each of them faces different challenges. So it's important to have a focus, right? And one of the things that I've heard that some challenges from previous groups that were focusing on this is that very different people work together and everyone wanted their needs to be addressed. And then there was tension and so on, because it is very different, right? Like, so, for instance, what people from the blind and deaf group want is more about accessibility, right? And so that's really important, and that is not necessarily what people who stutter kind of really, that there it's more about visibility and just awareness. So the things that each group need are very different. And so having groups that are focused on those specific challenges and needs is really important so we can make progress. But we also need to team up, right? Like all groups also have a common goal. We all have common goals, right? Like, and we want the community to be more inclusive overall. And so there is a huge potential for us to team up. Together, we can also be louder, right? If we have just one group kind of advocating for something or for more inclusion, it's just one group. But if all of us, if we all do it, and if we do it in a coordinated fashion, we're also going to be more effective. And then the other thing is like we can definitely learn from each other. Right now, the Deaf and Hard of Hearing group is the most mature one because it's the first one. And so I think it would be very interesting. Oh, sorry, like actually not, because Women in Cloud Native is the only group that we kind of adopted that was already there. So you guys are already, you've been doing this for a while. But yeah, so what have these groups that have more experience been doing? What worked, what didn't? Also by sharing in these monthly meetings, updates of what what every group has been doing will hopefully inspire other groups to do something similar, or maybe just not do something that really failed, although like sometimes something fails in one group and not another. But anyways, the idea is to be aware what are the things that are possible, to figure out like, oh, the CNCF was really great supporting us with this. I had no idea I could ask them that, right? Like there's so much we can learn from each other. And then we should also advocate for each other, right? Like I think like if people in this group suddenly, I don't know, like Bhavani never met someone who was blind, for instance. I don't know, maybe you did. But like now, because you're here and you're listening and you're hearing about what the blind and visually impaired group is advocating for and the resources there are, and suddenly there's someone at your company who's applying and who is blind or visually impaired, you can kind of become an advocate, right? And say like, hey, we have these resources. We can all advocate for each other. I think that's really important. Because again, I assume while we all want specific things to happen, we also want in general have like a more welcoming and inclusive cloud native community and industry in general. So yeah, that's the reason why. And that's why I'm so excited we're finally meeting together, because I really feel there's a lot of potential and synergies that will emerge. And so one of the first Merge Forward project, I already started working on it. And it was a little, because things slowed a little bit down with some of the craziness that's going on in the US. It's like, where should Merge Forward live? How should we do it? How can we talk about it? Like a lot of you already know, we've had some discussions on DM. So things were a little slower, but I created before KubeCon a form for mentors to apply to become a mentor. So the idea is, well, first let me talk about the actual program. So it's a mentorship program for underrepresented groups, right? So basically you can, like mentors can pick whether they want to team up with someone for a KubeCon talk, whether they want to do like monthly meetings to just talk about career advice, if they're switching careers. There are like a variety of things that people can think of. We're also time boxing it because it's very clear that for a mentorship program to be successful, chemistry is important, right? You cannot put any people just together and it's going to work. And so we want to make sure that everyone, the mentor and the mentee, have an out. So we're time boxing it for 6 months. We say this is a 6 months program, but we say like, hey, if this is working, just go for it, right? Like just continue. So I had this initial form. Lots of people applied that were clearly not in our industry and whatever. So or like I had someone respond and they were a physician, and it's like, that's nice, but that's not what we're focused on. We're cloud native. So now I have a new form. It's linked in the agenda. I encourage everyone to have a look and maybe provide feedback. And we're also, people need to kind of show that they have expertise. I've had people wanting to be mentors for teaming up for a talk and have never presented. And I was like, that's not what this is about. You need serious speaking opportunity experience to be a mentor in that. So that is one of the programs that are kind of like, well, that I would love to do, that are kind of cross diversity group, right? Because it's like underrepresented groups. Yeah, so I'm working on that currently. I do need also volunteers to help with that in general. So I think like we have like all the diversity groups. I want to kind of try to leave the diversity groups a little bit more to the actual communities and work more on these cross diversity initiatives. Any one of you can also volunteer to help with those. So like if any of you is interested, I definitely need help. I also want to do a social media post, and now that we have a page and so on, recruit people who want to kind of join Merge Forward in general, not necessarily in one of the groups, but help these cross-functional teams, groups, programs. Yeah. Any questions to merge forward the program, or comments, ideas, concerns?
So like initially we are starting with this like kind of mentorship program, like so how we will be like so we have the calls, but how we will make sure like so do we have a place where so we can have a form where every different group have like what they are doing at a sort, and just see how we can combinedly do few efforts, and probably as you said, we just discuss on what worked and what really helped the community to grow, these kind of points if we can discuss, so that helps other groups as well, Catherine.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't because I didn't really understand because you were not. I thought you were talking about the mentorship program, but then
Yeah. So like what my point is like, so the mentorship program is good. So what
Mhm.
I'm also thinking is probably we all probably a place where we can actually write down on what all the initiative that we have done so far. So we have a place where we know like for each group these are the things that have been done. Probably
Mhm.
we'll in the next meeting we'll just discuss on what all things different groups are doing. So
Mhm.
what really worked probably so that we will combinedly take a decision of like what we can do further, like that's the one thought I have,
Mhm.
probably to have a place where everyone write down on what they have done, and so what things that worked them to grow the community or something.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's also kind of like the idea of this meeting. So right now we're doing more introduction, and so I did
Okay.
have like the where we talk about the individual initiatives, but that might be a little yeah, we might not have time. But I think the idea is yeah, we can write it. We should maybe like write it down is a good idea too. But I think like these meetings are basically I think, oh, this is how I picture it, and maybe you feel like we should take a different approach. I don't know. That was like kind of my initial idea. Doesn't have to be the one. Maybe there are better approaches, but I was thinking like all the leads and everyone who wants to join as well, all the leads come and kind of present what they've done this month or things that have worked and so on. So we all kind of know what's
Hmm.
going on. And
Yeah.
then there could also be like brainstorming or questions, or maybe there are like opportunities where we can team up, right? Like for instance, for KubeCon, right? Like I would love to have a panel. So we have a panel now with 4 deaf people and three deaf people and 1 blind person. So at least we have like, but let's say we have lots of, but it would be great to have like 1 representative of each group, right? To talk
Yeah,
about a little bit more. So I think, yeah, we should like every KubeCon, we should kind of do like something that is like across diverse, like a merge forward kind of panel and things like that, right? But yeah, I think we should keep each other in the loop. And then this is what it is about. It's like a check-in kind of thing. But yeah, writing it down makes sense as well. So we can kind of like keep track. Like, I don't know, like Bhavani, you were like, oh, didn't Rob said something?
yeah.
And you can go back to the document and kind of so yeah. Anything else? Yeah, Anya, go ahead.
I'm not actually clear with the expectations for volunteers.
Volunteers are so basically, well, we are all volunteers, right? Right now, I created the form on my own. So it's basically like, so a volunteer would basically help once the applications come in, figure out how do we process them? How do we kind of identify mentors who are like good candidates, because you will always have people who are not the right fit, right? And then same thing for the next challenge is creating the application form for volunteers, because a lot of people sign up for everything. They're like, yeah, sure, I want everything, right? Like you don't want that kind of people. You want people who are willing to put in the work, right? Like, so how do we create a form where we can filter these people out and identify mentee candidates who are serious about it, right? Who are actually kind of who have a clear vision of what they want and need and are going to ask. So we also, so that's kind of like, and it's building the whole program. So it's, yeah, recruiting mentors, recruiting mentee candidates, looking at the applications, matching. So we do have things where they match, right? Like, what do you want to do? And then we have, people can also say, like, if the mentors are from a specific group, and if they want to mentor someone from their own kind of group, we have that type of question. So yeah, that will be a little bit challenging. So there's where I would love to have a volunteer also, and like anyone can volunteer, but one volunteer that I would love to have on in the team is someone who's really good with Excel, because it might be a little Excel magic that needs to be done. But yeah, did that answer your question, or are you still?
Yes, it does. And I have another question about the mentors. Is this strictly for CNCF folks, or for everyone in tech as a whole?
Cloud native. We're focused on cloud native, and yeah, so yeah, because we have to be, that's our space, and then we can do it. Yeah, and so we are part of the Cloud Native Foundation. So it's going to be, otherwise it's going to be crazy too if you have too much. It's like, so we're very focused. You have to be from an underrepresented group to be a mentee. Then the question is like, who is from an underrepresented group, right? Like, that's kind of like, because that does not mean, because there are a lot of people. Yeah, so there are like some challenges there too, because there are like people who are technically from one, but there are a lot. So it's like, I don't know, that's like a whole kind of, and then so underrepresented and then cloud native. And so I do think that the application form now is very specific at what it asks. Like, and we're asking like, did you speak at a conference, a major conference, not a meetup, right? Like, how many talks have you done? Like 1, 3+, 5+, right? Kind of, and we can assess like, okay, are you an expert, or are you, because like, I don't know, with the other one, I could really tell that people really overestimated their ability to be a mentor. I was like, I feel you're more in the mentee category. It's like, I love your enthusiasm, right? But yeah, yeah. So it's a learning process, and so yeah, I don't know how to do it right now. So it's a way to kind of figure it out, ask for advice for people who have done things like that before.
Rob here. Do we have some sort of like criteria? So you said underrepresented group and cloud native, but do we have any other requirements or criteria, or any sort of like point system in place for to help prioritizing folks, to match them up, all of those things?
No point system. I think like once we have the mentees, you're gonna say like, oh, these are people from this group who want to do a talk, and then you have like, okay, these are the mentors who have a talk, and then you see like, first of all, it's like, are they qualified? Like, that's the thing. Like, if someone is qualified to be a mentor, we're gonna make a big effort to match them. And then like with the mentees, is that a qualified mentee candidate, someone who actually takes it seriously, right, and is going to do the work? Then if they're serious about it, we will try to match them with their preferred for what they wanted, right? And if we have leftover, I don't know, I don't really know how to do it right now, but like if we have like people who are not matching, we can say like, hey, but I think
Yeah. Okay, just curious. I get the idea of where you're going, so I just wanted to know if you had anything in place yet, but it sounds like it's all just new and ideas in its form right now.
yeah, it's
Cool. Yeah, we're just trying, figuring things out as we go. This is great.
yeah, and so yeah, it's challenging because I've never done something like that, and with the first form was a failure. So now I put a lot more thought into it, and I do think, and I did check with, so yeah, have a look at the form. Do not apply. It's on my drive. We're not gonna ask for people to sign up and have it on my drive, the personal information. Once it is final, I'm gonna ask the CNCF to put it on a Linux Foundation drive, and all personal data should be there. Okay, and then so we do have a the community group. The CNCF changed the way community groups are handled. There was a whole kind of revamp of everything. So now we are going to be on the same page where all the meetups are. So Milad already knows that platform. But there is a section for technical community groups, and so we're a technical community group. And so I got it started there. Please join that group, right? Like the nice thing, if you join it, I see that 9 people joined so far. It's like as we join that, we can send emails. We don't see their emails, right? Like we cannot, but we can send emails through the platform. So we could, like say like, hey, if we're at KubeCon, we could say, hey, here are all the things Merge Forward is doing, like the Deaf and Hard of Hearing is doing this, Blind and Visually Impaired, the Women in Cloud Native is doing this. So it is also kind of cool to be able to reach out to people who are passionate about that.
What is that channel, Catherine, you're talking about?
Right now I'm talking about the community groups, the page. Let me just put that in the.
Yeah.
So I know Women in Cloud Native have.
Yeah, I think I joined. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Kind of understood.
And what you can do now within Bhavani, because you have one already, if you want,
Yeah.
you can associate that group with that. So it appears as part of this within Bevy.
Okay. Okay.
You can say this is a group that is part of, and I don't know how it looks like. I don't know how it will look like, but like somehow they can all be connected. And I believe, or you should have gotten an invite to create such a page. Ivan and Stefan should also have gotten one. Anya, you too. Like I think you all got an invite to create.
Yeah. So I actually, I got an invite. I've joined. So I'm just sharing that Women CNCF page. Just like probably, as you said, we can just put this like under Merge Forward. Like we can connect every group. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would. I don't know how it looks like, but it somehow it must say like this is Merge Forward, and it has all these groups. Yeah. So yeah, and then we have the public channel. So I think I invited everyone who was on this call. So yeah, everything. So we have one. Yeah, so that's where we should communicate and get people, like people who are interested and want to follow. So once soon I want to start kind of getting into promotional kind of thing. This is an initiative, get people there to join. And Rin, I actually forgot that Rin had a meeting and could come late. That's why I pinged you, but glad you made it. And then, yeah, so we'll start creating assets. Yesterday I was so excited because I love our new brand. Hello. So I created a slide deck that we can use for all Merge Forward groups. And yeah, and then so the next thing, we can do that offline because I don't want to have all our eat up all our time here for that. But again, like Jay is based in New Zealand. He would like to, he's part of the Deep Roots group. Yeah, he would like to join the Merge Forward meetings. Right now it's 3 a.m. his time. So if we could find something after 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 5 a.m. his time, we can do a little poll. Yeah, because it would be like, yeah, I would love to have him. He's very thoughtful, and I think he brings a lot of qualities that are very important to these type of groups. So I really want to make sure he can join. So I'll start a little thread to find that time. And that's all I had about the March Forward updates. Rin, you can see, well, we're recording this, and here's the agenda. But yeah, why don't you introduce yours? We did a little round robin before. I know you're representing a new group too, and maybe you can start by introducing yourself and what you have in mind with the group, what's your hope for, what you're looking forward to, and so on.
Yeah, sure. Hey everyone, my name is Rin Oliver. I use they, them, and he, him pronouns. I'm wearing a black hat, black glasses, I have a red beard, and blue shirt. I am based in Shreveport, Louisiana, currently in the United States, and hopefully moving up north, North Adams, Massachusetts area, which is Western Massachusetts, later this year. I'm going to be hopefully leading up the neurodiversity initiative, and I'm very excited to bring together conversation and action items for building a better ecosystem for neurodivergent people in the CNCF ecosystem.
Great. So in theory, so we have 5 minutes left. The final section that I had was that kind of like going group by group and kind of talking like what we've achieved so far. To share that, we can get started now and then continue next month. How does it sound? So I would want to start with the Deaf and Hard of Hearing working group because it's the most mature and the one that has achieved the most so far because it's been around for longer. Rob, do you want to tell a little bit about the since when you joined, what we have achieved, what we've worked on, what's worked, what hasn't, what frustrates you, what excites you?
Yeah, this is Rob. I'll keep this brief because we've got time, limited time. But when we set this up, we intended to have the best conference experience for attendees who come that maybe need accessibility needs like sign language interpreters and things like that, where they were having a better experience due to their accessibility being met. Jay and Catherine started mostly all of this, which is awesome, the ecosystem of the minority and underrepresented groups, where they can be, elevated, elevate their voice, if you want to say it that way, for the deaf and hard of hearing, and being able to set up a group that we could start branching out into other areas, like, for example, education with the CNCF group for using sign language interpreters at their events and the kind of interpreters that we need. For example, the first group in Chicago, they had a lot of very inexperienced interpreters. And so we told them, "No, you can't really do that. We need very professional sign language interpreters, not inexperienced. We need ones that are, have experience in tech and have experience in conferences and just educating the CNCF folks to have a better conference experience, really, since they host between the Americas and the European, they have probably a conference every 6 months. And so, having like different types of interpreters like BSL, British Sign Language, or American Sign Language, ASL. And so different things like that have come up. We've kind of piloted, I guess, and then rolled out our glossary that we've developed, that we've used on our website, being able to see different signs, and it's growing more and more, but basically just providing a glossary of signs that are related to text. So we've done some of that kind of things, and I feel like we have a pretty good start.
Yeah, and I just wanted to
Malad
share.
agrees.
Just real quick, like in addition, so I just shared there on the contribute.cncf.io page, there's an accessibility section, which, by the way, they're they're making a huge change. So all these flying CNCF pages will be consolidated in one, so it will live somewhere else at some point. But a lot of what we've done with the deaf and hard of hearing is as well, like writing down best practices, right? Like, so what Rob was mentioning is like, okay, so, which was amazing. I think like 2 months before KubeCon, because the group was relatively new, we published the best practices for creating a welcoming conference for accessibility for deaf and hard of hearing individuals. And they implemented a lot of stuff. So yeah, like some things were not ideal, but it was 2 months, right? And so the CNCF has been really, really willing to help, and so I was amazed, because I think like two months for any changes in an event is incredible. So and they've been working more and more towards creating a better experience. And so if you check it out later, you can see yeah, we have the best practices. Then we also have tips for community events on how to add captions to a event that are not that is not super expensive. There's an open source tool, and so and then also best practices for interviewing a deaf person for media interviews, right? Like, how do you do if your interviewee is deaf? How do you?
Yeah, Rob
Yep.
here again. I would say there's a lot of things that we did do, and yeah, you're highlighting some of those things additionally. So that's great. I do
Yeah.
know that we are over time though, so I wanted
yeah.
to just point that out.
Yeah, so check that out, and then think about the things that we could do, yeah, as a group, like individually, and then let's see what we can work on next. Okay.
So yes, very much appreciate Rob again here. Very much appreciate the help with the best practices in conferences, and all of you folks on the call. Your input would be helpful. Obviously, blind and neurodiversity, and there's a lot of different ranges within all of the different groups, right? You could be like totally blind, for example, or just a bit more visually impaired where you can see a little. So it'd be nice to put down best practices for folks in those different types of requirements, just as we do have in the deaf and hard of hearing group as well.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So thanks everyone for joining. I hope let's look for a good time that works for at least for one representative of each group. That's important. And then yeah, let's keep it rocking. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, everybody.